Think about how crazy it would be to try to make a profitable buffet. The business model is literally this. Come on in, the food is ready right now, and you can eat as much as you want for as long as you want for one low price. Nobody in the world goes to a buffet thinking, I'm going to eat a reasonable amount of food at this buffet. Everybody is there to destroy your profit margins. The two ways you can actually make money in a buffet business are 1, charging people way too much money, and 2, cutting the quality of food. And those two things combined mean we have a lot of bad reviews of buffets from around the country to choose from. Buckle up. Here we go. 1-star buffet reviews. Gross. Due to the Reno area, and I love a good Chinese buffet, I've been to over 10 plus. So I decided to try King's Buffet, and I must say, I wouldn't feed this to a stray dog. I spent $18 plus to choke down 2 pieces of meat. The food was extremely old, even though I went during lunch hour and not many options. The restaurant was empty, no surprise. And the waiter was holding my glass cup by the rim of the cup instead of the sides, which was weird. I'll never return. I love this review for so many reasons. First off, DeAdrea wants you to know that she is a credible source for making a review like this. As you start reading, you might be thinking to yourself, DeAdrea, what makes you so qualified to review a Chinese buffet like this? Like who made you the expert on Chinese buffets? But she steps in, and she'll have you know that she's been to over 10 plus Chinese buffets. Who's the expert now? And her expert opinion? Wouldn't feed this to a stray dog. And DeAdrea, that makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't feed it to a stray dog either, unless that stray dog somehow wandered into the restaurant and had $18 of American currency, in which case the stray dog could eat the buffet food. But that situation seems very unlikely, and so I'm with you. I also wouldn't feed this to a stray dog. I also love the visual of the waitress holding the glass by the rim of the glass instead of the sides. And if you need a quick visual of what that might look like, here's a quick visual of what a glass delivered to your table by the rim of the glass instead of the sides could look like. So a lot of reviews pick up on this theme of, hey, I'm not picky, I go to a lot of buffets, but this one truly is awful. So for example, Ethan says this. This is the first review I've ever left. I will eat just about anything that don't eat me first. I don't like doing this, but I also don't like spending $22 for nasty food. This place is a dump. Honestly, if Ethan will eat anything that don't eat him first, buffets might be one of the only safe places in the world for Ethan to actually exist. I mean, think about this. He can't go out in public. Any person that passes him that doesn't try to eat him, he's going to try to eat that person. He's going to start salivating and thinking about eating that person. As he's walking on the grass doesn't try to eat him, and so he has to fight the temptation to lean down and start eating the grass. Ethan tried to get a normal job, but they handed him the orientation paperwork, and before they could finish working through it together, he had eaten half of the packet. Ethan, stay at that buffet. Pay $22 a day for rent, and don't hurt anybody. $22 a day is like $700 a month. Would it just be cheaper for all of us to exist by paying our rent at buffets and staying there permanently? The food is already included. Why don't we all just live at buffets? Okay, so if you've followed this channel, you know that I've done a host of these videos before. You can see a lot of them on a playlist. This is the first of these videos that I've done where the reviews don't always match up with the ratings given, and it's very confusing. So let me give you a couple examples. Da, that's D-A, Da, says this, 2 stars. Okay, the food was good, the wait was horrible, not a huge fan of the crab legs, but a big seller. I know to come back without the big crowd next time, but I give them a solid 7 out of 10. Thank you guys and enjoy. On one hand, Da says 2 stars. On the other hand, he says, I give them a solid 7 out of 10. And just so we're all on the same page, 7 divided by 10 is 3.5 stars, not 2 stars. But Da rated it a 2. And the second example is even more confusing than this. Georgia says this, 1 star. Great bourbon grilled chicken, chicken on stick, spring rolls, black pepper chicken, soup and rice by pound if carry out. Quick, easy, ready immediately lunch. Good for the price. In other words, Georgia says, this place was awesome. I had a great time. Everything I ate was incredible. 1 star. I'm just very confused by reviews where the ratings don't match up with the reviews, and this is the only restaurant type that I found where this occurs. You know who else is confused? Mark. Mark says this. Very small selection of very terrible food. Panda Expresses has better Chinese food than this place. The meat was dry, fish was gross, and there was some chicken and shrimp thing that tasted super fishy. Best part was the iced tea. I do not recommend, and I will not come back here. First of all, Mark, listen up. Don't hate on Panda Express. I still need to do a video on Panda Express. Don't hate on Panda Express. It is not that bad, and you did not have to do them dirty like that. Leave Panda Express out of this, Mark. Also, Mark, the reason that the chicken and shrimp thing tasted, quote, super fishy is because shrimp is actually a fish. The shrimp, a fish, is likely the source of the fishiness that you tasted. The fishy taste probably came from the half of the dish that was fish. Just a tip for future reference, Mark. Emily had a unique experience at a buffet, and she said this. Worst food. $50 for half a plate and everything was old. The server just threw our drinks and napkins at us. Never checked if we were okay on drinks. Listen to the reviews. Do not go here. Again, low quality food and high prices are the only ways that buffets can make money, so no surprise there. And the visual of the server throwing napkins is a bit wild, but the crazier visual is the server physically throwing drinks across the restaurant. Like the server is over at the soda machine, she fills up the soda slowly with ice, puts a nice little straw, maybe an umbrella in the soda, and then takes the soda and throws it across the restaurant at a customer. Obviously, that is really disrespectful, but it's also kind of legendary, and I kind of wish there was a video of this. I've actually been to one restaurant in my life. This is not sarcasm. This is real. I've been to one restaurant where they are physically throwing things at you, and I just need to plug that real quick because this review reminded me of it. It's called Lambert's. It's this restaurant like in the middle of nowhere in Missouri, and I'm no joke. The waiters throw rolls across the restaurant. You like put your hand up and a roll comes flying at 50 miles an hour into your hand. You like have to be careful as you walk around this restaurant because waiters are walking around with trays of rolls that they are throwing at people as the people raise their hands. It's honestly really cool. This sounds like it's not real, but it is real. I mean, Google Lambert's. It's unreal. You put up your hand and not 5 seconds later, a roll will absolutely demolish your hand. Okay, here's another great review from Amber who says this. Food made me and my roommate sick before we even left. Then the waitress decided to ask for a tip. Sorry, no. You don't ask. It's not mandatory. I don't tip beggars. So Amber and her roommate go to this restaurant and the food is so rotten that before they can even leave the restaurant, the food makes them sick. It's like they took one bite of their food at their table and just immediately, simultaneously, both of them just threw up on the table right away. So that by itself is already crazy. But then something even crazier happens. Amber and her friend both take one bite. They immediately, simultaneously, both throw up on the table. And at that exact moment, the waitress comes over and asks them for a tip. You get the sense from this review that all of this happened within like a 5-minute time span. Amber and her roommate show up at this restaurant. They go get their first plate, take one bite, both throw up. And at that moment, a waitress is like, you only tipped me 10%? That is really incredible. And again, Amber, that was not a beggar, that was a waitress. But I understand that if the food actually made you throw up before you could even leave the restaurant, I don't know that I'd be very inclined to leave a tip either. However, I just want you to know it was a waitress, not a beggar. Two different things. One's an occupation, one is a better occupation. Finally, my favorite review of the bunch, the last one we're going to read together from our friend Indu. Indu says this. This is one I'm just going to have to read. When always I enter the restaurant, they make me insulted me. If I am alone or with my friends or family, I always go there, buck. I like that place. I always think they might change their behavior, staff. I am really disappointed today. If I get my takeaway food, how can I mix my bread in one small box with fish and gravy that's supposed to be separate from the rest? It's look like I am getting a food same kind of animal staff Have lots of attitude. I only know one girl at the front desk. She is good, but most of the staff, they just tired to make you insult. First of all, I just love Indu's faith in humanity here. Every single time he goes into this restaurant, they openly insult him. Whether he's alone, whether he's with friends or family, he walks in the door and they start hurling insults at him. Here comes the fatty. Oh, look, the fatty brought friends. Look at his friends. They're so fat. We insult you, Indu. We insult you to your face. But he keeps going back to the restaurant. He thinks they might change their behavior. Every single time he walks through the door, he's like, this is going to be the time that they don't insult me to my face. And yet they continue to insult him to his face. Indu, it might be time to give up on this place. But one other thing about this review is especially notable. And it's very notable if you've been following this channel recently. He says, supposed to be. And there was a review of a Burger King where a girl said, supposed to be. And I'm just going to make one final push in this video that should become new slang. Going to has become gonna. Supposed to be should become supposed to be. It would be awesome. Just think about it. We should all band together and make this a thing. It's supposed to be a thing. If you're still watching this video, I love you more than DeAdrea loves going to 10 plus Chinese buffets in a row. Very thankful for you. Please like the video if you liked the video. If you hated the video, please still like the video on YouTube for YouTube's sake. If you could leave a comment, I will most likely respond to that comment because if you haven't noticed, I have time to respond to comments because not many people are commenting. And if you would subscribe to the channel, that would actually mean a lot to me. I'd appreciate it a ton. I'm thankful for you. See you next Friday with another video.